Joining me now, MSNBC contributor Melissa Harris Perry, Tulane professor and columnist for The Nation. Melissa, can a Wall Street candidate like Willard really succeed in this political climate today?
Possibly, and here's why. Because we have a big mismatch between what we think is true about how Republicans perform economically and how Republicans actually perform economically. So after I talked with your producers, I was so excited that we were going to be on set today. I did a little bit of my wonky research and was looking up to be sure that I wasn't going to misstate any facts here.
You're my favorite wonk, so what did you come up with?
Well, so, from the period of FDR until 2000, we had just as many years with Democratic presidents as we had with Republican presidents. So it makes a nice kind of comparison. And when you look at economic performance on all the major economic indicators, Democratic presidents outperform Republican presidents on GDP growth, on full employment, on the relative equality. There's always a great deal of inequality in the system, but relatively more equality in the system when Democrats are presidents than when Republicans are. And yet, business leaders tend to prefer Republicans as candidates.
Okay, now let's take this slow. Let's unwonk this for those that are at home like me that are not wonks. You're saying that since FDR, we've had just about equal amount of Democrat in the White House as Republicans.
Yep.
But that the gross
GDP, which is sort of gross domestic product, how much the economy is growing.
Grew more under Democrats than Republicans.
Consistently.
But isn't their calling card that they grow the economy?
It turns out they actually grow the deficits. Deficits get higher under Republican presidents. GDP gets higher under Democratic presidents. Relative equality under Democratic presidents, higher inequality under Republican presidents. But business leaders consistently prefer Republican candidates. You know
now,
why?
let me show this to help support your argument to the American jury watching. Under George Bush, the economy, 2002 to 2007, 65% of economic gains went to the rich.
Yep, and that's why. So the reason...
This is to the top 1%.
That's right. The reason business leaders prefer Republicans isn't because they're better for the economy. It's because they're better at growing the individual wealth of the wealthiest group. So the one indicator that goes way up under Republican presidents is that the very top percentage actually accumulates a higher percentage of the wealth.
You see, you're answering something that I didn't understand, because I got up yesterday morning to go to the King Memorial dedication, and I see on the New York Times this story that Wall Street, who President Obama helped bail out, is giving their money to Romney. Look at this. I mean, how do you have a guy bail you out and then you contribute more to the guy that's trying to run him out? Look at the figures. $1.5 million has gone to Romney already. Only $270,000 has gone to President Obama. That doesn't make sense, or maybe it does.
Yeah, look, it's a really clear formula. The fact is that we actually do better as a country when we spread the wealth around. Remember those kind of, oh, he wants to spread the wealth around, he's some kind of, communist, socialist, that sort of discourse. But the fact is, just in a capitalist system, just in a system where we want to grow our economy, have more consumers, have demand for the products that people are creating, all of that actually does better when working class people have disposable income to purchase homes, to purchase cars, to purchase iPads, all of those things. But what Republican administrations typically do is grow deficits because they grow military spending and they cut taxes and they grow the wealth of the tightest top 1%.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's why everybody thinks I'm smart. I talk to you and then I walk out and I just rehash it. Sometimes I give you credit, just sometimes.